Oh yeah, we live. We're about to have these conversations because we have no choice. We are in a state of emergency here today. I know that some people aren't trying to talk about the fact that we're in a state of emergency. People are trying to avoid it. People are trying to make light of it. But we are in a state of emergency. We have entire like states declaring state of emergency right now. It's not a game. The Trump administration is playing light and loose with money that we need to be able to feed hungry people in this country. I don't even know how people can defend it anymore. The fact that people are still trying to defend it is insane to me. But that's what's happening. Playing light and loose with people's lives. I don't get how anybody can defend this anymore. Just so you know, the description and disclaimer are down in the description box. I'm putting them there right now. We're about to go hot. I'm waiting on my co-host to show up. He might not want to show up for this one. Oh, wait. He sent me 70 of debutante cotillion. Okay. Don't even know what this is about. Right now, I'm here about serious business. Sending me something about a cotillion. Yeah. 40 million people about to go hungry, and I want to do something about a ball. Sounds very MAGA. Sounds like Trump. It sounds very Trumpian. Right now, I ain't even gonna lie, I ate a good dinner tonight. And every other bite, I'm like, damn, there's people that might not be able to eat. I didn't enjoy my food as much. Every time I thought about it, I'm like, yo, and what do you think is gonna happen? Let me tell you what happens when crime, I apologize, when people get hungry. Now, I'm not an expert in law and politics. We got a disclaimer, but here's what happens when people get hungry. They find ways to eat. The hungrier they are, the more desperate they are, the harder they're willing to work to find a way to eat. Which means the hungrier people get, the more dangerous the world gets. And that's where we're at right now. Welcome, Dion. Uh-oh. Oh. So you're trying to get your sound and everything going? We're about to get started in about 2 shakes. Got a lot to go through. Where is my link? It's about to be detrimental. 40 million people. That's more people than I can even think about. 40 million people. It's sick right now. And Dion's in and out. He's having a little bit of an issue. I'm sure he's about to come back in a moment. Then I got this going on. Seems to be a little bit rough. That's all right. We're about to get into this, everybody. Right now, I think the most important part of this is, even though Trump has access where he can literally just make a phone call or sign a paper, whatever he got to do, and money's flowing into them hungry people's mouths, hungry children, hungry adults. People want to point out the veterans. The veterans are not the most important part of that equation. I don't care what nobody says. Oh, no, he said something about the veterans. I'm a veteran. Shut up. Got hungry children out there. You have hungry elderly out there. Some of the elderly might be veterans. And there's a fund sitting there. $6 billion. Just in case there's a government shutdown. So that they can keep going and people won't starve. Trump is acting like he can't do anything about it. Let me tell you what the worst part about that is. Last time he was in office, because Trump triggers every possible depraved scenario that you can imagine, we ran into the same thing. And I'm sitting here trying to get my team together. I'm about to have to start reassigning people. I go through this every week and I'm tired of it. Yo, this is every week, man. This is every week. What's going on, man? 9 o'clock every week. Anyway, I lost people trying to set this up. Yo, this is insanity. And where's this MAGA man at? Come on, man. We need to talk about these things. Don't go running from me now. Don't go hiding. Come back, MAGA. Let me see what's going on with him. So I want to get started. We got something to talk about today. We need to handle these situations. I need to understand how MAGA is still supporting this. Y'all trying to blame it. Hey, what is going on? I did not hear you, but I saw you. Oh, all right. No, I was just calling to find out. I saw you, so I didn't think you was being, but I just wondered what's going on. I see you. Let's bring in Dion Powell, ladies and gentlemen, so that we can get this started. I did admit him. It takes a moment to show.
Let's see. Did that work out?
Yes.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, Zoom updated again. That's what happened.
I had to restart everything. I thought because
It messed my whole computer up and knocked everything out. Everything. I don't know what's going on with Zoom. I might have to find a different software.
StreamYard.
I already got it paid for the year, so it's ticking me off.
Okay.
I'll be throwing away a couple $100.
But that's okay. Let me just get through. Yes, I'm back. Okay, let's see. Boom, boom, boom.
Welcome back. Let me make sure. Let me see what it looks like. Let me change the view. Maybe we can both be on simultaneously. and we can dig into this. What's going on here? Maybe I got to pin us both to the screen. I don't know. It changes every time. First I didn't have to pin us both, but not on lives, only on whatchamacallit. But let's see what happens now. All right, yeah. So now I got to put us in gallery and pin us. I did not used to have to pin us on lives, but we're here. We got people listening to what's going on. So here we are. Welcome to the think tank. We use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, and a pinch of common sense to draw unbiased and logical conclusions. Now, I'm going to state for myself, as someone who was completely unbiased in all of this, the more I learned, the more I leaned left. Now, I had my problems with the Democrats, but with everything that I'm seeing going on with the Trump administration, this is not the lesser of two evils. This is good against evil, or neutral against evil, or if you want to say bad against super evil. But this other side, this Trump thing is evil. But we're going to dig into it. First, allow MAGA to introduce their side. I'm going to let Dion let you know who he is for those of y'all that are new, because I don't want it to be a completely one-sided debate, because that's not how debate works. He has his views, and he's going to obfuscate and put his views onto the table as well.
You just can't help yourself. Obfuscate, huh? Okay.
Your word. Those are the words you use.
Word obfuscate.
It's your word. You love that word.
No, I don't. There's so many words in the English language. Hey, family, this is me, District Leader Dion Powell, without any spectacles to give you some of my parting ways for the Bronx Conservative Party. I'm the district leader here on the campaign trail, trying to keep District 13 red again in the Bronx, our only Republican conservative representative. And I'm going to give you our point of view because we're making a lot of progress because so many of us are done with the Democrats.
I believe that's going to become more and more difficult the longer Trump stays in office. He's not even showing his face for the campaigns going on right now. He's hiding because he doesn't want to destroy them. His face will torpedo campaigns going on as we speak. He only been in office 9 months. Went from what he claimed to be, which is a lie, the most popular president in the history of the world, to hiding and not showing his face to support his candidates. Even Obama, after being out of office for 15 years, was able to show his face, and people are like, yo, change, we need change. Obama. Trump is like, and why do you think Trump is doing that?
Well, Trump again is just being Trump, and he is very notorious for trolling the other side, which is so emotionally incised. There should be a psychological case study on it, just like that guy that had the dog and the bells. Remember that situation psychologically in class? So Donald Trump is just being Donald Trump.
Pavlov. Well, I mean, if there's going to be a psychological evaluation, it should be on the occultists that follow Trump.
That's not true, at least.
What's not true? That there's a cult? It's absolutely true, without question.
Well, how come so many people are dissenting in the MAGA realm when it comes to things like support of Israel, when it comes to things like supporting wars in other countries, when it comes to certain things like immigration rights? For example, some people even in MAGA are saying go supreme. When it comes to the government shutdown, when it comes to the filibuster, there are many things that people in the MAGA realm don't absolutely agree with the president on, and I'm one of them. And
I see. So we're going to end that now. This won't be the only time we do this. I was hoping you would walk into this. I'm sorry, but I set you up. I apologize, but I did. So, what is a cult? Well, according to Google Gemini, a relatively small group of people having beliefs or practices, especially relating to religion, that are regarded by others as strange or sinister or as an imposing excessive control over members. a misplaced or excessive admiration for a particular thing. A person or thing that is popular or fashionable among a particular group or section of society. A system of religious veneration and devotion directed towards a particular figure or object. You know what I do not see in that definition? Anywhere where it says you have to agree with everything. You are a cult. Or at least the MAGA movement's a cult. By definition of the word. Notwithstanding, you don't agree with every single thing Donald Trump does. You follow him even though at the present moment there's a shutdown. And what does he do? He knocks down the east wing of the White House. He goes to Asia. There's $6 billion to help people that are losing some of the programs, one being EBT, food stamps. While Head Start can't be saved, Head Start is the program that helps underprivileged neighborhoods be able to afford to get their children the help that they need, be they underage or special needs. So that program is not being helped, but at least you can feed the kids with SNAP, food stamp benefits. The money's sitting there, $6 billion worth. To Trump's credit, the last time there was a government shutdown of this size, the only one that's this large in the history, still larger than the one we currently have, he utilized these exact funds and made sure people didn't go hungry. So the question becomes now, with 40 million people about to be without food or have a food shortage, 40 million. Everybody talks about veterans. You know what? Veterans don't mean as much to me as the elderly, as the hungry children that are about to be out there. And I'm a veteran. But hungry children and hungry elderly touch me more. I'm sorry, but not sorry. He has access to the funds. And even after the first federal judge said, you have to use the funds by law, that's what they're there for, he started coming up with excuses and then blaming the Democrats for everybody being hungry. But the money's literally sitting there specifically for this situation, and he comes up with excuses. A second judge looks at it like, yo, what the? Trump, you have to use these funds. What you're doing is illegal. Do you think those funds got dispersed? They did not. Are they about to be dispersed? Trump is hemming and hawing. I got to see how it's legal. Your two judges tell you that it's illegal for you not to. And his response is, I got to see how it's legal. Did you know all of this was happening?
Well, again, remember we had previous episodes where state circuit court judges make rules against the president that's out of their purview on a national scale. My thing is, will this hold up in court? And if it will go to the Supreme Court to make a decision when it comes to the executive branch. Once again, the government shutdown is out of the president's hands. It's in Congress, specifically the Senate. And if you remember, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, when it came to a continuing resolution last cycle, a few months ago, he had no problem. But this time, he has a problem. So let's not defect to the president. Let's look to having maybe 5 or so Democrat senators just vote yes with the rest to get this government open. Let's focus on that.
Right. You sound like a MAGA person. So let me put my idea on the spin you just gave and what I just heard. Because this is what I heard. Yes, Donald Trump, starve the 40 million people. Don't give up the funds because that way the Democrats will crack. Is that what you just said? Because that's what I heard. That's what Trump is saying. Is that what you meant to say? Or did you say that by accident?
No. Once again, the president wants to end the filibuster in which you need 60 votes in order to pass anything in situations like this.
Explain what a filibuster is, because that was going to be part of this, but you're the one with the civic expertise. So please explain the filibuster.
Well, we'll for example,
Would
you
you like me
can,
to just pull it up? Because it
yeah,
sounds like you're
just pull
stammering.
up because it is
Why
there's
don't you
certain
pull it up? You're the civic
nuances.
expert. Pull it up.
Oh God. You got me working. All right, let's see. Let's see. You like to use Google,
I don't care
so
what you use. It's a definition of the word. It's really simple. It's not complicated. I could have explained it. You're the expert here, so I'm trying to let you shine a little bit. If you want me
yeah,
to, I can just
well,
explain it.
you like to fact check me so much that it's ridiculous. All right, let's see. Yeah, because the Zoom is when you share the screen, sometimes it takes away.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, here we go. Where is it? Where's the share button? Let's see. Let's see your definition compared to my definition. This is coming from CNN. According to the Senate website, has a glossary. A filibuster is an informal term by any attempt to block or delay Senate action on a bill or other matter by debating it at great length, by offering numerous procedural motions, or by any other delaying or obstructive actions. These days, it's a shorthand for any time citizens demand a supermajority to cut off debate and move an actual vote on just about anything.
Would you like to make that plain English for the listeners, please?
Well, the supermajority, for example, Robert's Rules of Rule, parliamentary procedure. There are 100 senators. Each state gets two, no matter what the population. So that's 100. So a majority would be what? 51. So a supermajority would be they're arguing 60 people, which is more than half, which is 10 more, if you want to think about it. And so that's what the filibuster do. Remember when Hakeem Jeffries was just speaking at great length? Remember when Senator from Jersey, what's this guy's name? Cory Booker was speaking for days or entire day. That was a filibuster just to obstruct and delay the proceedings to hopefully get other people to change their mind. When
Okay, stop. That was perfect. That was perfect. It's something to stop or delay a procedure. Filibuster.
in
Stop
Congress and the Senate,
in Congress, yes, or delay. Well, not just in Congress, but because you could, right, but in Congress to stop or delay a procedure. That's it. So right now, the government shutdown is basically a filibuster. It's a procedure to stop or delay the processing of a particular bill. This particular bill is called the CR. Dion, do you want to take this one?
that means
CR.
continuing resolution when it comes to the finance and continue the money to be flowing the way it should be flowing. Okay.
Why do we need a continuing resolution? What is that? Why do we need that? Why is that important? Why is this shutting the government down? Why is that so important?
Because there's certain budgetary, for example, we had, if you recall, the federal fiscal calendars from September 30th to October 1st. So the continuing resolution they have proposed for the federal budget would continue it into the next cycle with the certain approvals or disapprovals. However, the Democrats want the Affordable Care Act extensions that were done during the COVID lockdown to be continue where the Republicans argue, no, it's over. COVID is over. There's no crisis. You should end this. That's just one nuance of the continuing resolution that's holding things up.
What is a continuing resolution? What exactly does that mean? Do I
Okay.
need to do it? I mean, I'm trying to, like, this is your expertise, so I'd rather it come from, I'm not a government person, but you work in the political realm. You're very connected there. That is your day job. So I think that, the civic education best come from you.
Okay, good. Well, here's a good explanation because I'm using Microsoft Bing, of course, instead of Google Chrome. A continuing resolution, CR as it's called, is a temporary funding measure passed by Congress to keep the federal government operating when regular appropriations bills have not been enacted. Purposes of continuing resolutions are essential to prevent government shutdowns when Congress fails to pass the necessary appropriations bills by the start of the fiscal year. I said that fiscal year, which begins October 1st. They allow federal agencies to continue operations provide services without interruption until a budget agreement is reached. Remember the big, bad,
So
beautiful, remember the big,
basically,
beautiful bill?
Okay, so basically, what you're saying, so basically, what that says in a nutshell is the clean continuing resolution is just to keep the government going until a final decision is reached on the main bill, or until everything is worked out for the main bill,
Right.
basically.
Yeah, remember the big, beautiful bill that you guys hate so much? Since it passed, there's certain things procedurally has to get done. Like I say, Ways and Means
They got to
Committee.
figure out how they're cutting off the tens of millions of people from Medicaid, and how they're cutting off the millions of people from food stamps. You got to figure all of that out. It's in the bill. Don't shake your head. No, it's in the bill.
Well, guess what? Whatever they need to figure out, they need more time for it. But in the meantime, this continuing resolution will keep regular operations going and things being paid out. They have to get paid. They always get paid. But seeing as though the Democrats don't want to have five of their members vote for it, that's what's causing things to be at a stagnate and the government is shut down and certain things aren't getting paid. Understand?
Got it. So the Democrats won't just bend over for whatever the Republicans say they want to actually debate, but the senators just what the Republicans say, just sign whatever we say, or we're going to punish the people and blame you for it. Because that's what it looks like to me.
Well, but remember at the beginning of this segment, you wanted to blame Donald Trump. Now, where's Donald Trump in this process?
Didn't Donald Trump call and tell a moron? I mean, Michael, what is your name? Johnson, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, moron Mike? Do me a favor. What is it? What is it, boss? Good. Know your place. We're not co-equals. I am your boss. Send the House home. So for a month, our tax dollars have been paying the House of Representatives because Donald Trump told Mitch McConnell, listen to me, told moron Mike Johnson to send the House of Representatives home. I say Donald Trump's knee deep in this.
Actually,
right now,
what did we just say before, Leo? Filibuster, the Senate. You're talking about the House. We need 5 votes or so in the Senate, not the House. The House already took care of its own business. Understand?
that's not exactly what happened, but let's go to the Senate and see where we stand here. You asked where we stand, and Mike Johnson. So then let me ask you this. So if that's the case, why doesn't Mike Johnson bring everybody back from vacation since they've been gone for a month getting tax dollars since they've already taken care of their business? Why don't they go back to work?
Well,
or they're just avoiding the Epstein file like everybody says.
That's
Because,
if
Aguilita Grajava from Arizona gets sworn in, that'll be what, the 218 vote necessary for them to bring the bill to the main Senate floor? I mean, the main House floor, where now we get to take a look inside the Epstein files? Is that what why Moron Mike's been told keep the House out? Because obviously it's not about the bill from what you just said. So what's the excuse?
Well, again, you're laying out quite the political posturing for the political theater in which Mike Johnson's involved in.
Political theater is telling everybody to go home.
Long story short, he still can fall back and point the finger at the Senate because the continuing resolution has to get through the Senate. Understand?
No, I don't. Matter of fact, I'm a complete loss. Everything you just said sounds crazy. What? Okay, so the Senate needs the votes. They're there. Why is Mike Johnson not there?
Because he's in the House. He has nothing to do with this at this
So then why is he, since he's not there and and this has nothing to do with him, why is he telling people not to work then? Since this has nothing to do with him, it's on the Senate, why is the House not working?
Well, again, because of the political theater that you're theorizing right now, potentially he's just waiting for the Senate to do its job for all systems to be.
What does that have to do with the House?
Well, I don't know. That's the answer.
And it's the Epstein files because there's no other option.
Well,
no other option.
Well, think about it. Even if they do take action, the government is still shut down. So the certain systems in place.
Oh, they can expose the Epstein files. They don't need the government open for that.
Well, government employees.
Only reason, from what you're saying, is the only reason that they have to not bring the House back is the Epstein files. But I digress because that's not the main topic right now. The main topic is Donald Trump has $6 billion that he could snap his fingers and 40 million people wouldn't go hungry. Instead, he's building $350 million ballrooms and having Halloween parties and going to fly around and visit Asia to come home with deals once again with no paper signed once again. Because, you know, he does that every couple of months. He goes and he's got a whole bunch of deals and nobody made no deals with him. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. We got this many money coming from tariffs and this amount of money coming from tariffs. We're making so much money, trillions and trillions of dollars. Meanwhile, in court right now, if he loses the what? $300 million that he made, that's it, 350 million, something like that. $300 million he made in tariffs will have to be paid back to the companies that paid them, not the other countries, to the companies that paid them. The $300+ million, which is all the tariffs brought in, not the trillions of dollars that would, you know, somehow not come close to maybe touching the debt that is steadily growing based on the fact that he wanted to continuously give tax cuts to the wealthy with the one big ugly bill. And while he's giving these tax breaks, he's trying to take away food stamps from people. He has $6 billion that's been appropriated by Congress. What that means in English, right? What does appropriated by Congress means? It means that Congress said it's here to be used for this. What is it here to be used for? In case there's a government shutdown, so food stamps don't get cut off. That's what it's there for. So why is Trump not putting the money out there? Why is Trump blocking people eating? Why is he willing to make 40 million people starve? I'm done. Back to the same question.
Remember, if Trump does swoop in and pick up the phone and show the continuous leadership he already has and takes full credit of it, I'm sure people will deflect and say, no, it was Congress that ended the government shutdown, not Trump. So he's damned if he does, if he damned if he doesn't. So that's the way I see it right now, where he's standing in this whole government shutdown situation. That could be ended with the Senate getting 60 votes. So far, they have 55, 54, I think, last time we checked at the tracker. But yes, all eyes should be in the Senate and their leadership on both areas. Schumer and the other guy on the Republican side, Thune, right? Yeah.
I don't think people are paying attention to that right now because people are paying attention to the emergency going on where people are not getting the food support that they need. They're like, government shutdown, government shutdown. Who cares about the government shutdown right now? You have the money to make sure people can eat, and you're playing with the money and starving people. So instead of, oh, we need 5 votes, how about we concentrate on the fact that he's not giving the money that people need, that's sitting right there, that legally he is supposed to give. That he says, oh, well, is it? Here was his excuse. This was beautiful. This is why I know that Moron Mike is a moron. Watch this. You know what they said? They said, in the wake of Melissa, the second largest hurricane to ever strike the Caribbean, they said, yes, this is an emergency fund for food stamps, but we're going to hold on to the money in case, I swear to God, he said this out of his own mouth, Trump, in case there's a hurricane.
Okay.
He's not giving the money that he is legally obligated to disperse during a shutdown for the food stamp program because there might be a hurricane. That's why I said cult. Because there's no, you can't even support it. All you could do is talk about, oh, well, we need 5 votes. What about the emergency right now where he's sitting on the money and he's literally not letting people have it while he's building $350 million ballrooms and going on Asian trips?
Well, the thing about it is,
and playing golf.
Politically, even if he does pay out, it still won't solve the problem of needing a continuing resolution of having the Senate pass it.
The continuing resolution is not the problem right now. We can get to that. How about, instead of playing politics and talking about 5 votes, we talk about dispersing the money that's been appropriated specifically for this situation? Why is he holding people's food money? Why is he holding people's food money? That's political posturing. That's playing games with 40 million hungry people. What happens if he continues to hold out? He tries to break the Democrats. That's what he's trying to do, right? Can we agree that he's illegally, well, Trump's saying illegal. What Trump is like saying 34 felonies. I guess that's kind of silly to even mention that it's illegal, but it is illegally holding $6 billion slated for this exact scenario to give these people food. But he's not doing it. He's purposely hurting these people. Is that because he's hoping that the Democrats will give in if he starves people?
Again, it's only 5 votes, and it's around the messaging. Once again, we started with the Senate has to approve this continuing resolution. He wants to get rid of the filibuster because they have a majority, but not supermajority, in order to do so. But the Senate, even the Republicans, turned against him, Leo. The Republicans do not want to end the filibuster because whoever's in power, who doesn't have power, have a right to use it. Understand?
That has nothing to do with the $6 billion he's holding. Right now, that is over there. Right now, right this moment, you have people that did not get food stamps this weekend that do not know how they're going to feed their family right now, right this moment. So you're talking about filibusters, 5 seats, and continuing resolutions and shit that nobody cares about. You know what they care about right now? The fact that their kids is hungry. How they gonna feed their children, and how parents are gonna feed like you're talking about some stupidity that nobody cares about right now. That's like me using big words like saying authoritarian and king. I know king's a big word for some MAGA people. And whatever. Right now, people are worried about the food on their table, literally, and Trump is literally sitting on the money, not allowing the money that he's supposed to allow to come through. And I'm asking why.
Some people are more concerned about the truth and how much people have been lying and perverting the truth involving President Trump. The truth.
Wait. I gotta clarify. I just want to make sure I completely understand what you're saying. You're saying that some people are more concerned about the truth than the food on their table. Whatever truth in whatever world you're living in, whatever truth it is, I can't even wrap my mind around this nonsense. Like, so you're saying they're worried about your truth over the food on the table?
They
really?
are worried about the food on the table, but
so then let's talk about the food on the table. Why is he holding the $6 billion?
This has nothing to do with that.
It has everything. That's the only thing that matters right now. We can deal with the rest of that. We have an emergency. We have 40 million families beginning to starve in this country. And you're talking about some they need to vote. How about they need to give the money that's supposed to be used for this situation so these families don't starve? And you're defending this by saying, oh, well, the Democrats should. He's holding the money. If he's illegally holding the money now, what difference does the Democrats do make? He's illegally holding money. He's been doing this since he's been in office, doing illegal things with money. Now it just happens to be food stamps, so it's affecting more Americans at this particular moment. But he's been doing illegal things with money since he started. So how can you try and shift the blame to the Democrats when there's $6 billion that he can release right now that 2 federal judges told him? You're talking about circuit court judges. Two federal court judges told him to do it. We're not talking circuit court. We're talking about federal judges. Yes, it'll probably go to the Supreme Court because he's probably going to appeal it. It's probably got to go to the appellate court. It'll probably go to the Supreme Court. But what he's doing is illegal. So even the Supreme Court, I don't see them. Now, I'm not a legal expert, but I don't think they're going to hold food from 40 million people. I think that's insane. You seem okay with it.
Well, again, it's the perversion of the truth.
It's
All
no
it
perversion
takes
of any truth.
is 5 Democrat senators to vote for this CR, and that's it. We won't have to
It's
have the
not it.
president.
You're talking about. Listen. All right, cool. If 5 Democrats said, you know what, screw America's health care. We don't care if their premiums go up by 5 times as much. We don't care anymore. We're going to vote against the American public. If 5 Democrats did that, you'd be happy. Trump would be happy. And he could use the money that would be saved and that would come in from people losing their health care to fund the rich. You and Trump will be happy. That will be magnificent, I'm sure for you. But until that happens, right now, while they're fighting about it, people don't have to starve. Why is Trump starving people? Is it only because that's the only way that he feels Democrats will give up and agree to allow Trump to strip away their medical benefits?
The Democrats are wrong in this situation. The president feels as though they're wrong, and he wants to
And
make
why
sure
are they wrong? Why are they wrong?
because typically their leader, Chuck Schumer, and the minority would go along with a continuing resolution because he would rather not to see people starve. That's what he said a few months ago when we were facing another government shutdown crisis as a political tool to actually stiff it to Trump. But now he's not. So as you can clearly see,
Do you think it might be because of the stakes?
what stakes? All they want to do is be opposed to Trump. They have no solution whatsoever, or what plan do they have to actually
They
help
have
people?
the plan is to continue the tax credits. You know, the tax credits the rich got in the one big bad bill. They want to continue the tax credits so that people can afford their health care. That's the plan. Now, being that you mentioned plan, even Marjorie Taylor Greene, your friend, it's like Republicans don't have a plan. Republicans don't have a plan, according to Republicans. The Democrats' plan is keep the status quo that's already there. That's all they're asking. They're not asking for nothing new. Keep what's there. That's what their plan is. We don't have to change anything. Don't take away what we have. That's their plan. The Republican plan is take away what they got because they need to find the money to fund the tax breaks that they gave the rich in that one big bad bill. So people are about to starve. People haven't gotten their food stamps. Food security is at risk for 40 million Americans because it's the only way to afford to be able to give those tax breaks to the rich so the rich make more money, so that somebody can buy another jet, so that, because they need this money because it's going to trickle down. The American experiment is coming to an end under Donald Trump. 40 million people starving in the richest country in the history of the world is sickening. But I guess if you don't put any emotion into it, it's only 40 million people, right?
No matter what rhyme or reason, people are starting to see the truth, which is procedurally to have the continuing resolution, you need to have 60 votes in the United States Senate. That's not happening. The Republicans on board. We just need 4 to 5 Democrats to come aboard with these votes to keep it going. Now, the president does have discretionary powers and funding and access to things that can help alleviate, but that would just be putting a band-aid on the situation long term. We still need those 5 Democrats to come around in the Senate, which they have done so before. But Chuck Schumer, the minority leader of the Senate, is not letting it happen like he did a few months ago. And people see the hypocrisy and how the Democrats have no plan. They may be mad at Trump, but they're more so mad at the Democrats because they don't have any leadership skills.
Wow. And so later for the, facts, because what are those? The occult, where the majority of almost 2 to 1 Americans are blaming the Republicans because they control the House, the executive branch, and the Senate. So 2 to 1 Americans are blaming the Republicans. Let me jump in the chats real quick. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, we getting it in this week. We got 40 million families about to starve, so I'm passionate about this. Yeah, it got deep quick. Hi, Chrissy. Thank you, Shirley. I'll try. I try. Uh-oh, Michael's feeling you though. Michael's like, yo, your logic's on point. Michael got your back. Trump needs to follow the law. Agreed. People are losing access to food during the month of Thanksgiving, which is crazy. This is during the time of colder weather, so many have to decide between heat and food. Nobody says. Right. It's a hostage situation with money towards food. That's the most important. Right. Thank you, Chrissy. Reaganomics doesn't. Reaganomics. Woo! Somebody civically educated. Somebody knows their history. This is trickle down economics trumped up, or Reaganomics, where they're trying to give all that money to the rich because it's supposed to trickle down, and that has never worked.
Well, we're not side by side on the YouTube.
Well, we're pinned to the screen.
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, let me try changing the view. Oh, went back to speaker for some reason. It went back to speaker, but I don't know what happened. I did not change it back to speaker. It went back to speaker. It should catch up in a minute. I don't know what happened. Wow, 3,000 people.
Nice. I didn't even notice. Okay. There you go. Okay, now we're side by side. Very good. All right.
Yes, because that's what's important. Not the 40 million people starving. The fact that the view is side by side.
It's more.
Apparently, with 3,000 people watching, he was doing okay as it was. Scott Bessent admits that we're in a recession. Parts of the economy are in a recession. Proposition 50 is getting passed. It's gone past. If you don't know what Proposition 50 is, it's in California, where they're voting to redistrict to fight back against Texas that illegally stole seats. Adelita Grajava wins a suit against Mike Johnson, so she's going to have to be seated, and the Epstein files will be released. While Republicans are claiming that Trump is not in the Epstein files. We already know about the $250 million ballroom. He claims that Americans wanted for 150 years. Like, he just opens his mouth. I think it's kind of apparent at this point that there's something wrong with that dude. I mean, nobody in following him is going to say that, but all you got to do is listen to him, and he'll start losing his train of thought, and then he'll wander off in a different direction, or he gets fixated on something that's very unimportant, like a coffee cup, and talk about like the grass and how much he knows about grass for like 10 minutes.
Unfortunately, the general public won't believe any of this because Karine Jean-Pierre, the former press secretary under Joe Biden, is trying to push a book to actually dismiss some of that stuff for him. So the people have been lied too much in the previous administration to believe any kind of deliberatory nonsense messaging or rumors about president.
This isn't nonsense messaging. This is me watching Trump, just watching Trump. And it's kind of like, bruh. Yo, that dude is definitely, he suffers from dementia. And I understand that if you're deeply involved with your MAGA belief system, that it might be hard to step back and just look at the entire picture. You won't see the forest, you'll see the tree. And that's quite logical for someone that's deeply rooted into the belief structure. But when you step back and just look, like, I watched him come down off the airplane the other day, and he tapped the banister 5 times while he was coming down. Like, I said, that's strange. Why did he do that? Is he giving a signal? What's that? Then he came down. He started walking to the toward the camera where the interviews would be held, and I watched him pat his leg 5 times again, and I realized that had to do with his mental condition. But I'm not a mental expert. I've just watched a few people slowly slip into dementia. Steve Bannon says Trump will be president in 2028. We talked about that. Got local elections coming up. Oh, and Trump wants to test nuclear weapons again. Yes, because what is it? North Korea is doing it. America needs to do it too. We need to test nuclear weapons. Yes, this is a man in his right mind. Let's start blowing up nukes. He, for some reason, is confused and believes that America has more nukes than anybody on the planet. I don't know if he's just lying to the American people or confused with him. I can't tell at this point. But no, we do not have more nukes than anybody on the planet. That's not true. Russia does. Did you know that, Dion?
No, I did not. I was kind of suspecting, but yes, America and Russia, they're head to head on nukes.
No, we're not head to head. Russia has more nukes
So are
by
we number
far.
two at least?
Yes.
Well, there we go.
But what Trump is saying that Russia being number two, is he lying or is it signs of his mental decline? It's one or the other because he has to know the answer or had to have known at one point what the answer was. Like he's the president of the United States. He's the president. So is he? Is it because of mental decline or is he lying? I really don't know in this case. I'm. It's a toss up for me. Anyway, if you're liking the content, become a critical thinker. Like, share, subscribe. It definitely will help us in the algorithm. If you subscribe, you get to know when we're talking. We release videos on a daily basis, informative videos, things you won't hear anyplace else. And if you like it, it'll help the algorithm know that you know that we're good. Because right now, the way Trump is moving, I'm afraid that they're going to try and strike this channel at some point. They haven't moved
Oh,
that way yet.
no, no. Trump believes in freedom of speech, and he proves it time and time again. He is not going to put you in Facebook jail like under the previous administration. He's not going to shadow ban you or call Bill Gates or call Mark Zuckerberg or call Elon Musk to have you shadow banned, blocked, deleted, and post removed. Trump doesn't get down like that. Other people do. The Democrats. They believe in less free speech, censorship, and actually putting out their own version of the facts and having fact checkers. Trump doesn't believe in having fact checkers. So,
No, Trump doesn't believe in anything that has facts in it, unless he's trying to send a message. If there's any other type of facts, Trump and their supporters won't want to deal with that. I heard Dion complain at the beginning of this that I keep fact checking him, but I wouldn't have to fact check him if he gave real facts. Like if I'm fact checking you, that means what you're saying isn't true.
well,
I don't
stuff
know.
that you don't want to hear, but still, we are the media and so are you. So it's up to you to do your own research because this is for education and entertainment purposes. You heard the man at the beginning with the intro. So I just leave it up to you.
Right. So let me see. Being that we did that, let's do this. Ah, okay. I want Fox News. I want Fox News. Because I don't want it to be, oh, well, of course, the CNN. No, no. What is this? Oh, my. Let us see the facts. Because we're doing facts, right? Facts is important and all of that. Let's see. Facts. Let's share. And with sound, my second desktop. I say that. No, I don't want to watch it there. Okay. Oh man, federal judge orders government to pay SNAP benefits amid shutdown. Is this Fox News? Right. Alexandria Hoff, White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett, and Senator John Corwin, Republican Texas, joined Fox News Live to discuss a judge's order to pay SNAP benefits, efforts to reopen the government, and the news on the Arctic Frost investigation. Yes, he came up with the Arctic Frost. He came up with some name to try and make things more cool and try and grab people's attention. He's actually experiencing dementia, or not quite brilliant at that. He is quite brilliant at it. He is one of the most brilliant minds at it that has ever lived. That's what makes him so dangerous. That being Trump. So even Fox News is discussing the fact that judges are telling him to release this money. And with Kevin Hassett, what's this guy? Who was it? Alexandria Hoff, Senator John Cornyn. Do you think that this might be a serious thing, that it's not a Democrat hoax, that he is supposed to release this money?
Well, again, the president has discretionary executive power and privilege. But still, it's not going to solve the problem that 5 Democrats have to vote in the Senate to get this to happen and continue this resolution.
That
And
has nothing to do with the release of this money. The CR has nothing to do with the release of this money. The money's there in case of a shutdown like this so that people don't starve while the government works it out. That's what the money's there for. So that people don't have to be hungry while this is happening because these things happen and both sides do them. Are you going to tell me the Republicans never shut the government down under Obama? Are you going to tell me that lie? No, the
good
Republicans do it
lie. He
too.
had to find ways to get his Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, passed through. And obviously, Obamacare was not the cure-all for the healthcare system because now, look at us now. During the COVID lockdown, they added some more flavor to it that was temporary because it was an emergency. Again, President Trump doesn't want to be having holding the bag like he is now to actually have to come in and save the day. He wants Congress to do its job. The Senate in this case.
So while that's happening, instead of trying to twist the Democrats' arms by starving 40 million people, why doesn't he do what he's legally obligated to do according to 2 federal
Some
judges?
could argue that the Democrats are in the same place by starving people because Chuck Schumer, he normally continues the resolution. He has a history of doing that, and he did so just a few months ago when the threat of a government shutdown was going to happen in the first quarter when Trump was first sworn in, and the first 3 months or so. Or was it 6 months? But yes, look that up. If the internet allows you to find where Chuck Schumer agreed to continue resolution instead of using the government shutdown as a political power play. What does internet AI say now, or was it scrubbed?
No, okay. Okay, so let's do this, right? Republicans, I spelled it wrong. Government shutdown years. 2019, the Senate report found that 3 government shutdowns in 2013, 18, and 19 wasted nearly $4 billion of taxpayer dollars during shutdowns. The government incurs costs for putting contingency plans in place. So at least one of these years, Trump was not in office. So the Republicans do shutdowns as well. Am I correct? They use the power of the filibuster in that manner as well. Is that not true?
Yes, that's exactly why Republicans don't want to get rid of it, whereas President Trump wants to. For example, there are a lot of Republicans, believe it or not, that hate Donald Trump. And this just goes to show that they're willing to break way when it comes to procedural powers like a filibuster, which is embedded in our precedents, as it were, when it comes to go ahead. Yeah, right. Just I'll cut my own self off
So, why do you think that Trump would want the filibuster removed? The real reason.
because he has power now. The Republicans have power in the Senate and in the House of Representatives. So a filibuster would help out the minority political party in power, which is the Democrats. But the roles can be reversed depending on how an election cycle could go. And that's why that tool, which is neither good nor bad, is actually in place. Just like gerrymandering, both parties gerrymander, but just that the media wants you to believe that only Republicans do it. Gerrymandering is just a procedural.
Well, the facts are the Democrats are letting the public decide if they should gerrymander, and Trump is just demanding seats. These are the facts. But we're not going to stray too far off into that. How about Trump wants to remove the filibuster because that would put him in a position where whatever demands he makes, he would be able to enforce without the Democrats being able to stop him at all. Like, let's say, a third term in office.
Well, that has to they have to amend the Constitution. So a certain amount of states and senators and Congress have.
Not if they get rid of the filibuster and change the rules.
Well, that's true too. We don't want mob mentality. And that's the right reason why the filibuster is there. So you don't have mob mentality in Congress with just 51 votes or just simple majority.
So Is it possible that he's starving 40 million people because he's playing 3D chess and he's looking down the line and seeing how to maintain power?
Well, he wants immediate power with immediate results, and the filibusters bring that.
He doesn't care about the immediate power anymore. He has all the power he wants. Right now, he's starving 40 million people by not giving bills, not giving the money up. The two judges told him he had to give up. This has been going on since Gregor Garcia, when he's just ignoring court orders, keep them planes on the ground. He flies the planes off. He's not listening to federal judges. And that's been his thing since he's been in office. He's not listening. So he's breaking every rule he's been since he's gotten there. This is kind of like when he started his school for business and he actually won, which he didn't expect. So then he just paid everybody off because he didn't want to get sued, continue getting sued because he was breaking laws at that time too. Like he's old, like he's done his entire life. The man is a criminal. And he's criminal minded, kind of like, you're from the Bronx, KRS-One, he's criminal minded. And that's where it's at.
That's not true. Everybody loved Donald Trump.
34 felonies says it's true.
Here we go. And 34 felonies.
Oh my God, don't bring up the fact that he's a criminal and got 34 felonies. If it was me, it would be brought up. If it was anybody else on the planet, it would be brought up. The only people that don't want it brought up is MAGA. And why? Because MAGA's a cult. Oh, we don't agree about everything. That's not part of the definition of the word. The definition of the word is what y'all are doing. I'm just saying. I pulled up the definition. It's not I didn't make the definition up. I can't be blamed because the dictionary says something. By the definition in the dictionary, MAGA is a cult. And according to what cult rules are, you're not going to want bad things said about your leader. Or whatever it is, fixation, obsession, whatever the hell the word was in the dictionary. I forget. I can pull it up, but I'm not doing all that. It's of course you don't want bad things said about your leader. I understand. But here's the deal. He's a criminal. He's got 34 felonies.
You just keep saying it on loop. The public opinion is still not going to sway.
Oh, public opinion is that he is starving 10 million people. Well, in the Epstein files, yes, they're back again. It is like Schrodinger's cat, Schrodinger's file. I love it. That's dope. Like it's there, it's not. Now they're saying that they've been released already. I heard Mike say today, or yesterday, I think it was today, that the files have been released. Trump's not in them. And if that's the case, then why are you not swearing in Adelina Grajava? What's the real reason? The real reason is them files. It's going to break the cult. Because the cult believes that Trump is going to drain the swamp. And just like alligator Alcatraz, you're going to find out he's one of the alligators in the swamp, possibly the biggest one, the most dangerous one. He's definitely one.
Okay.
Alligator Donald Trump. And he's part of the swamp. And he's protecting himself because them files are going to break him. That's my belief. But what do I know? I'm just one of the people that look at the facts. Anyway, I would like to see people eat. Dion, can you go on record and say that even though you're a MAGA supporter and you love Donald Trump, your Uncle Trump, that he should not starve people to make his point, and he should release the money that he's legally obligated to release?
It would help out so much. But again, the Democrats, who's going to flinch? Schumer, the minority leader, they have to have the votes in the Senate to make this happen. No more band-aids. This man, President Trump, we know what we're up against with Trump. This is Trump being Trump. We have to pay attention to the Democrat senators that should vote in the Senate with a continuing resolution like they always do. That's it. The big, beautiful bill, as it's called, has passed. This is highly hurting a lot of American citizens, and a lot of people see through it. Sure, Trump could do this. He could take the credit, and then he'll say it wasn't Trump that did it. But anyway,
No, it's not Trump that's doing it. It's the courts that are forcing him. Because after the second time, after the second judge, he said, "Well, I'm gonna look into how I can do this legally." It took two federal judges for him to say he'll look into it. That's not insane to you?
no.
Wow. So one federal judge's order wasn't good enough for you. Because, if a federal judge, watch this. If a federal judge gives an order and you go against the order, you know what you just did? You've literally broken the law. So this is Trump once again breaking the law. It's what it is. So do you disagree that if a federal judge makes a demand and writes it down and says this is the rule, that is the law? Do you disagree with that? Are you saying that the judge doesn't make that?
When it comes to the president of the United States and the executive branch, the Supreme Court has the final say. How's that sound?
No, that's not true. Anybody in the Supreme Court has the final say. But when a federal court gives a decision, even the executive branch has to listen. It's not the circuit court, it's the federal court, the feds, it's federal. The federal courts have jurisdiction, and the executive branch is supposed to follow federal court orders. You don't have to be a lawyer to understand that. Like, it's a federal court giving an order.
Well, it's the president.
That's why he had to lie about the planes. He said, oh man, he said, I don't remember his name. I said him earlier. He was told not to lift them planes off. He sent them planes anyway. He didn't say, I did it. So what? He said, the planes were already in the air. He lied. Why did he lie? Because he was supposed to follow the court orders. That's why. Am I wrong?
Well, again,
Grego Garcia.
Grego Garcia, yes, what happened to that guy? Such a humanitarian. But yes, again, the point is the president of the United States, which is President Trump, we already know how he is and how he gets down.
Yes, he breaks the laws at will.
Democrats to do their job and just vote for the extreme resolutions, propose bills that could be some solutions, and not try to obstruct the president of the United States, because that's all they got is the hatred and resistance to President Trump.
Power to the people, resistance. That's right.
We
got to resist. We're not going to allow him to break us. Give the people their food money. Stop trying to use people starving to try and control the Democrat Party. Stop trying to starve people. We resist. That's damn right. But I know I'm emotional. You're not emotional. It's only 40 million people starving for you. That's so what, right?
Well, the way you package it, again, President Trump is not really.
I didn't ask about President Trump. I asked about you as a MAGA man.
As a MAGA person, again, procedurally, I blame the Democrats. I'm on the narrative in which
we're not talking about the continuous resolution. We're talking about the fact that the people that are going hungry right this moment,
what people
are being, and the money's there that is supposed to feed them is being withheld by the president illegally. That's the sentence. The money that is supposed to be released by the president right now for this very situation is being held in his hand to starve Americans, millions, tens of millions of Americans, children, elderly, that rely on this program to put food on the table every night so that Donald Trump can put pressure on Democrats. He's illegally holding money to pressure them. And you're supporting that. You're supporting him illegally holding money to pressure Democrats. You're okay with this as a regular MAGA person?
No, I want to see the Democrats vote in favor of the community resolution, and the president also to continue his leadership with the big, beautiful bill to deliver for the people that it was legislated for. Simple.
If you're just joining us, this guy happens to have a master's degree He's not illiterate. He just didn't read the bill, even though I read it to him multiple times on this show. To everybody, it just I don't know. He doesn't comprehend it. He doesn't want to comprehend it. He's MAGA, but he's not an idiot. But this is what we're dealing with. Even intelligent people that see what's right in front of them go into denial. Should Trump give the money out was the question. And I actually got an answer just now for the first time, which was great. And then he said the Democrats afterwards should do what he's going to do. And my whole point is take care of the emergency and then deal with that. But Trump wants the emergency. He wants the people starving. He wants the emergency. Because if he didn't want the emergency, he wouldn't be starving 40 million people. He wants this because he's illegally causing this. Trump is illegally forcing 40 million people into dangerous food situations because he wants to. Because it would be very easy for him to follow the law and disperse the funds. So if he's not following the law, he's willing to break the law to hurt 40 million people to get what he wants. And there are going to be people that are going to stand behind him no matter what. We must resist this king-like tendency to starve peasants to get what he wants. We are the resistance. But I digress. As far as that goes, at least MAGA's made the right decision. And despite the fact they want a clean resolution to continue funding the government until they can take away the medical benefits from everybody. I mean, do you know that before the Affordable Care Act, there were tens of millions of Americans that just didn't have health insurance? Did you know that?
Right.
So the Affordable Care Act did get everybody on health insurance. Is that correct? No, it wasn't perfect. I agree with you on that. But it did get everybody on health insurance, correct? So then during COVID, they found a way to make it more affordable. Right after they passed the bill to give the rich the biggest tax breaks in the history of the world, they also found a way to make healthcare more affordable. They were able to continue the tax breaks for the rich. Why would they not continue the tax breaks that make healthcare affordable for everybody? That's a discussion that we can continue having after everybody's eaten. So why not disperse the $6 billion so people aren't starving, and then we can talk about this. Does that make sense?
Well, it's going on for weeks right now. The president,
because the Republicans are not trying to hear anything, but they don't have their own solution either.
Again, once to give.
Hold on, wait. Here we go. Tell me the Republican solution to the healthcare crisis.
To the healthcare crisis? Well, we're trying to Doge. Remember Doge? They are.
Tell me the solution. Cutting jobs is not a solution.
Wasteful spending. The first solution they've been working on with the Doge program is cutting wasteful spending. They don't want health insurance, and I know what you're going to say after I say what I say, going to illegal immigrants. So that's the first step of the purge, to make sure people who need government assistance for health insurance through the Affordable Care Act are American citizens. That way the money is used properly. Period. Point blank.
Right. So you're arguing points that even the Republicans are starting to step away from because Americans are seeing that that's fellatio. It's fallacious, rather. It's BS. The Affordable Care Act is a shopping mall for health insurance. You go there, it helps you to purchase health insurance at a fair price, at a livable wage price. It is a mall to buy health insurance. It doesn't give health insurance away for free. So if there's no free health insurance to be gained there, illegal immigrants are not using it to get free health insurance because there is no free health insurance there. we went through this last time. Do you remember last week where I went and did the whole thing? Okay, so in case you don't recall, because apparently you don't, we're going to go to the Affordable Care Act plans as low as $50 a month. That's great. But you
That's
know what? Without me having to go anyplace else, there's a price. It doesn't say free because it's not free.
that's a
As
dot
low
com.
as, which means this is the minimal. So
That's a dot com, not a dot gov or dot org. That means that's a commercial website. They're not going to give you the proper information that it should.
okay. We did this last week and you still want to lie to the people. That's
No,
insane.
I'm just showing it. I'm just trying to help supplement the information that you're sharing. Again, if you look at the search bar up there, it is a dot
Dot
org.
org. Okay. Fine. It's just this is what we gotta do with you. All right. .gov. Roll by December 15th for January coverage. Act now.
There you go, healthcare.gov.
Yes. Certified, find a partner, cost savings. When you see cost savings, picking a plan, these are the things that are here. Why are these things here? Because it's not free. If you're picking a plan and you're looking for cost savings, and this is the .gov, then it's not free. And if it's not free, then the illegal immigrants are not getting free stuff because there's nothing free there. It's a marketplace to buy something. So you're lying to the people when you're saying you're trying to protect their money from immigrants from getting our free stuff. There's nothing free there. It's a place you go to buy. It's a marketplace.
Yes,
So
your
no,
state has control of the marketplace. And if you're living in a sanctuary state that has sanctuary cities in it, there are laws that say you cannot discriminate access to health care based on immigration status. So
but
those
that's
loopholes
in
the
those
state use.
cities. But that's a federal government site. They do not have access to federal
Federal
ACA.
funds
It's
go
not.
to the states to be managed. That's why you elected a politician, you're electing a manager. So obviously it's being mismanaged, these federal funds. President Trump nor Congress has a line by line spreadsheet for how the states are spending their money. It's just cut a check.
That's not. That's not a state program. That's a federal program. The states don't have access to that. Only the feds can disperse that. Only the feds. That's a federal program.
Yes,
That's a
they
lie.
cut a check to the states and the states manage.
That's not. No, you directly purchase the healthcare from the federal government. The state has nothing to do with it.
That's not
That's
true.
not gov. It's federal.
That's not true. For me, for example, because I have Medicaid, I
You use Medicaid. That's not ACA. You get yours for free. Maybe illegal immigrants can get what you get for free, but if you're paying in the marketplace, you're going to the federal government, and because you get yours for free, you don't understand what we got to go through.
oh, okay. Well, you have to go to the VA, Leo. So
I listen. The government is shut down because it's trying to protect people, tens of millions of people like me who actually pay for our health insurance, not ask the government to take care of us. And then get mad because other people are getting it too. So my tax dollars got to go to take care of people that ain't paying for theirs while I got to pay for my own.
oh,
And then hear y'all complain about it afterwards. Are you serious? Or the government shouldn't be shut down. I should pay more. I'm already paying for y'all's because y'all on Medicaid. I got to pay for yours and mine, and you want the government to make me pay more?
well, again, we just need 5 Democrat senators to come around and just vote yes. And we're done here.
If you got Medicaid, you get food stamps too?
Right now, no. I'm a single man with no drugs, no prison, no child support, no problems. I don't get much support. With the health insurance, I'll take.
Health insurance is expensive. If you ever decide that you can
But
afford health
remember,
insurance,
thanks to
I suggest
Obamacare, If I don't choose a health insurance, I get penalized and I have to pay a fine. So that's the negative side of Obamacare, that it's mandatory. And you know how we feel on this side of the fence about anything the government tells us that's mandatory. That must be a bad thing. Like the mandatory. Earth you're fired.
I happen to think that that might be a good thing. Mandatory might be good because that way there's not people walking around without health insurance. But you know, it's mandatory that you don't break the law? You want to take away the mandatory on that? You think people should just be able to walk around breaking the law because following the law is mandatory? So you want to take away the mandates of the law? Hmm.
Yeah.
Listen, you got problems with mandatory. So what? Why is following the laws mandatory? Well, unless you're Donald Trump. You want to take away mandatory? Why is it mandatory to follow laws? Following the laws is mandatory. It should be mandatory to follow the laws, right?
Well, they
There
say
you have it.
health insurance is a privilege, not a right. But Obamacare makes it a right, but you're penalized if you want to opt out of it. That's the problem.
Well, we have multiple things happening. We can do multiple things in this country. Perhaps we could be like every other civilized country on the planet and just a little bit of socialism, just a little bit of socialism. And everybody had health care because we pay our tax dollars.
Okay, so we're checking
Like
in.
Canada, France, Italy, Spain, like every other civilized country in the world. The United States. So instead of having these conversations, or we're having a conversation about Donald Trump trying to starve 40 million people so we don't have these conversations, because that's what's happening. If he does that, we can, and steps out of it and lets them have talks, we can have these conversations. But he doesn't want the Republicans talking to Democrats, and now he's trying to starve them. He's trying to get rid of the filibuster so there's no conversations. That's the MAGA movement. And that's it for tonight. Unless I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
Well, family, once again, like I said, it just takes 5 Democrat senators. We're not believing any other narrative. This is money that's earmarked for a lot of other things. Just 5 senators vote
What
yes.
money is earmarked for a lot of other things?
The money that you're saying President Trump is
The
malicious.
ones that two judges told him was earmarked for? Hold up. Wait a minute. No. Why do you always got to try and lie?
Well,
Like,
lie.
do you realize how bad Trump
Democrat
is?
senators to vote
Do
yes.
you realize how bad Trump is if you always got to lie? Do you understand that you
Well,
always have to lie?
No, the media is manipulating perverse in the situation.
No, the media, the Fox News is lying against him. Fox News, Scott Besson, Donald Trump himself is lying on Donald Trump.
That's it. Payment should happen around Wednesday. That's what the reason media just said today. Scott Besson, the Secretary of Treasury, said that we should see some payments happening on Wednesday as a result. So that's the latest news, Leo. So pay attention, family.
So they're going to comply with the federal law until they try and appeal it, which Trump will.
But we still have
I hope they put the money out.
5 Democrats, media, constituency voters, because election day is Tuesday. Focus on these 5 Democrat senators that need to vote yes, and that's it. Otherwise, we start off from scratch, and this prolongs it even longer. We have to take the vote over from scratch and change the bill, rewrite things. We just gotta have the government going. So, thank you.
The government should be protecting citizens like myself. I understand Dion doesn't care about anybody that doesn't fall into the MAGA realm.
Say that.
I understand that most MAGA people, we got people out there running up on children and hitting them with tear gas, because these are the MAGA people. Got shooting priests with pepper balls, smashing windshields in and dragging people out as a consistent thing that happens on a daily basis in midway blitz in Chicago, Illinois right now. I don't know what's going on in Portland. I know in Chicago it's terrible. We have the president trying to send troops from one state to another state federalizing troops to try and do this. That, by definition, would make this country a police state. I don't know, I'm using big words, police state. He's trying to use the federal government troops to police human beings. It's a police state now. That's a fact. We got the government, we got the president creating AI videos of himself with a crown on in an airplane, pooping on American citizens. Like, dementia ridden, without question. There's something wrong with that dude. Like, really? We're in the middle of a government shutdown and you're making AI videos about pooping on people? Are you freaking for real?
That was no King's Day, and he's not a king, so.
What does that? It's a government shutdown. And he's making videos about pooping on people. What the heck is wrong with that dude?
Again,
I know it's okay. He's just Trump being Trump.
in his mind, he just thinks that all it takes is 5 Democrat senators to vote yay and get this government back open again. So that's the what's probably going through his mind. So,
And there are people that are going to okay this and act like this is normal behavior when, if you're looking at this and saying what's wrong with this man, you're normal. There's nothing wrong with you. If you're looking at a man looking at 40 million people starve and having Halloween parties and asking yourself, why isn't he helping the people that put him in office? Why is he starving the farmers that voted for him? Why did he turn on them? These are all MAGA people. Why did he turn on the people that put him there? Why did y'all warn us that he was going to do this? Wait a minute, y'all did say this, didn't y'all? Dang. Y'all told us what was going to happen. This is the find out stage. And as President Obama said in his speech yesterday, yes, we warned you it was going to happen, but we did not know it was going to be this bad. I am not putting myself at the level of Obama, but I kind of did. I warned you, and I did not know it was going to be this bad. I agree with Obama, like President Obama. I didn't know it was going to be this bad. We're invading other countries. We're supporting war crimes as a country, not as people. But the resistance is real. The American people can fight back. I'm not saying to physically do anything. I'm saying your vote matters. I'm saying these protests count. Get out, say something, let your voice be heard. They don't care about these conversations. They care about them votes. They think that we're not strong enough. He's hurting his own people. If you got family members that are hungry, that you got to put food on the table for now because they don't have money, it's because of Donald Trump. Can we get a clean CR passed? Can Republicans come to the table and have a conversation? No, they won't. I know, Dion. I know they won't. The Democrats are supposed to just sign off on whatever Republicans say. The Republicans are not going to come to the table and talk. Right?
well, there's nothing to talk about. They refuse to have continued Obamacare for an emergency that's not happening anymore. And that's a fact. So until they realize, hey, our constituents are hurting as well as yours, and we just need 5 more votes or so in the Senate, and that's it. President Trump has nothing to do with this. He's done his part.
So now it's the MAGA party that doesn't want to have a conversation. And Donald Trump wants to starve people. What did I say that you disagree with?
Pretty much most of that. But again,
the Republican Party will not have a conversation. You just said that, correct? Oh, we're not conversation because we're not doing this, we're not doing that. You won't have a conversation.
there's nothing to talk about. That's the thing. The sad part is, there's nothing to talk about. They were very clear. This is non-negotiable. They are not paying for illegal aliens.
Illegal aliens are not getting anything for free. We stop. You know what? Tell the lie. Lie. It's fine. That's all Maggie can do is lie. Do you have no facts? Tell a lie. It's okay.
Well, the fact remains, just 5 senators just need to make 60 vote total to keep the government open and reopen it, and that's it. That's the facts. President Trump can't vote or anything in this process. Sure, he can get emergency funds, but that's just a one-time fix. What about happens next time? Hmm? What if there's an emergency that we need these emergency funds for? Then what happens?
I
So
think this is an emergency. Maybe you don't think 40 million Americans not having food is an emergency. Maybe you agree with Trump on that. I happen to think 40 million people, I think 40 people not having food is an emergency. 40 million people, I think I can't think it's unthinkable. But we have different ideas on what we should be worried about. And you feel that, so what about 40 million people? I got that. I think that Trump should do that. And I also think that if tens of millions of people are being affected by the health crisis and you can give tax breaks to the rich, then you can give them same breaks to the people that so that we can have health care. But you want to defend the rich. Why? Why is it okay to take money from us and give it to the rich? Because that's what it does. It's a wealth transfer. Cancel our health care or make our premiums go up so that there's more money to take care of these tax breaks for the rich. Why is that okay with you?
it's not okay with me. I'm just waiting
But
for.
that's what the one big beautiful bill does. Do you deny that? Do you deny that the one big beautiful bill is a bill that gives unthinkable amounts of tax breaks to the rich? Do you disagree with that?
There's lots of things in that big beautiful bill,
That
and
wasn't an answer.
well, again, think about it, Leo. A lot of people making over six figures, sometimes even five figures, are taxed more so than the rest of the population. This affects them as well, this big, beautiful bill and tax breaks. So don't make people think it's just the 1% that's getting off.
It's the 1% that's got the forever breaks. Other people got breaks for like 2 years. The ones that got the big breaks were the rich. And we've gone through that. He lied and said, oh, no tax on Social Security. Not in the bill. He said no tax on overtime. That's for 2 years. No tax on tips. Well, I spoke to a friend of mine today. Who happens to be a waitress. She said that she broke down how that does not help at all unless you make a certain amount. And since you got to make almost six figures for that no tax on tips to work, regular nobody that serves food is going to, nobody that gets tips, that's not going to help anybody. The only people that are going to get them breaks are the rich. But I know now we're talking about reading and oh God forbid reading, right? God forbid reading. That's what happens. You have to read the bill.
Well, again, the general public and mass scale, they may be mad at Trump. They're more mad so at the Democrats who are holding up this process. So there you go.
Until them funds get released for SNAP, I think they're going to be more angry at Trump because he's illegally trying to make people starve. But it could just be me in the fact that I am a single father and I have kids to feed, so I wouldn't want to put myself in them shoes. But you, as not being a parent, don't understand the disaster that this man is inflicting upon everyday Americans. You're just seeing whatever MAGA says. I don't know what they say that's so intriguing, but whatever that is, that's what you're seeing. And that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their worldview. I am for the millions and tens of millions of people that need voices like mine to speak out. And like you said, we are the news, they are the news. Speak out, make yourselves heard. Continue recording ICE doing these unthinkable acts, these terrible deeds, breaking these laws. They even attacked a police officer, said he was illegal. And now the regime is saying that they're hiring illegal police officers or illegal immigrants to be police officers. And that's why they're being attacked. That is what happened today or yesterday. This is what's going on now. Now ICE is attacking police officers. Well, welcome to the shit show that is Trump's America.
We're still alive. The world's still turning. Certain things that we don't agree with, but most often than not, It's not the president's fault. You got to look at the blue team and their lack of solutions, but just pure hatred and finger pointing to Donald Trump. You can see through it, do your research, and that's what we have to offer.
That's a perspective. But if you're living in reality, if your healthcare premiums are skyrocketing like mine, if you don't have food assistance, these are the things that's come from the Donald Trump MAGA regime. And these are just plain facts. These are the things affecting your life right now. All that hoopla about 5 votes and all that. Right now, prices are going up. Food security is being levied as a weapon. And that's directly Donald Trump. I don't even know what to say about the fact clean resolution and like CR and
Continuing.
like clean CR, right, whatever, and whatever. Like right now, I'm worried about you. If you're hungry right now, I'm worried about you. I'm worried about the fact that in my daughter's book bag, I open up her book bag and go in a homework folder and I get a paper that's filled with like 100 different food pantries because they know that everybody's going to be looking for food. Thankfully, I'm not in that. Thank God. Knock on wood. I'm not in that situation, but that's literally what's happening. They're just sticking these things in people's food bags because they're worried about people being hungry. Like this is state of New Jersey just declared a state of emergency because of Donald freaking Trump.
So did New York. We're so scared, but it's okay.
You should be, because what do you think is going to happen when these people don't have food? What do you think is going to happen? Let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what I would do if I was in that situation and suddenly I could not feed my daughter. You wouldn't be safe in the street because nobody would. Because I'm going to do whatever I got to do to put food on my daughter's table. My daughter's not going to starve.
Again, advocating for violence. But
I'm not advocating for violence. I'm telling you how people think. People are not going to watch their kids go hungry. This is making America dangerous, which is exactly what he wants. Because if America's dangerous, then he can levy the troops. He could declare a state of emergency, and he could do all the wonderful things he wants to do to put his crown on for real. This is what he wants. I did a video about it. This is what he wants. I am not in that situation, thankfully. I don't know what I would do if I would. I'm grateful to God that I'm not in that situation. It's horrifying to think about all the people, the 40 million people who won't be able to feed their children. And to think what they would do. The streets are about to be more dangerous is what I'm trying to tell you. Crime is about to go up because you got hungry people. What do you think hungry people are going to do? You should be scared. You live in the Bronx and you're about to have a bunch of hungry people. What do you think is going to happen?
Nothing much other than complain about Donald Trump and people's own personal problems and situations, some of which they've created, I must admit. But in the meantime, we'll see. Scott Bassett said that on Wednesday, there should be a payment coming out. So we shall see.
Wow. And that's it. I'm done. That was it. Nothing is going to happen if people are in the streets hungry. Got it.
Just
all right.
It's a way of affirmative action, but okay. All right, family. Jesus.
And that is what happens when you're disconnected. If you know what I know, and you've been hearing the rumblings in the street, I hope them payments come. I don't want to be out there. Like, I'm literally like, I'm going to leave my gold at home. I ain't going to carry nothing in my wallet because I'm hearing what's going on. That's for real. That's for real. All this nonsense is coming out of this dude's mouth. Like, you wallet. You don't know. You must not. Like, you live in the Bronx. I can't believe you're talking crazy. You sound crazy.
The Bronx is MAGA. That's the theme we had over last summer before the president got reelected. But
yeah, all right. I hear you. Like, yo, I'm getting out of here. Thank y'all for coming. Hold up. What's going on?
Till next
Hold on.
time.
The chat blew up and I ain't been paying attention. Hold on. This is the kind of political talk we need more of. These two always manage to stay civil disagreeing. Thank you. The snap issue is bigger than people realize. Yeah. Shutdown fallout is affecting everyone differently. Yeah. I mean, try and get on the airplane right now. Huh. I can't believe $6 billion is being redirected like that. Word. It is a weekly event. We're on every Sunday. Sophie Lane, welcome to the chat. Come on, every Sunday, 9 p.m. The snap cut already did pass Congress. It was the one big bad bill he was talking about that he's so happy about. Who do you agree with more, Leonard or Dion? If he doesn't think he's a king, why did he envision himself with a crown? Duh. Why is he not allowing himself to be checked by other branches of government? Snap shouldn't be political. It's survival for many families. Thank you, Mia. That's exactly it, Mia. People rely on us to survive, and he's holding funds is crazy. Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury, is like, all right, the funds should be released by Wednesday after the second court order. Up until then, until the court orders, he was trying to keep it, and they still will probably appeal it, but I pray to God not. You're not a parent, okay. Word, you don't have to I don't know where you're from, but you can see how bad it's not being cut this month off. Yeah, it's crazy. Crime comes from the lack of access to resources. Where there's poverty, there's crime. That is absolutely correct. Trump's moves feel strategic, not economic. Oh my God, Liam Parker, welcome. Nice to have you. And that's what I'm saying. He's playing 3D chess. He really is. But he's not worried about these little things he's like 40 million people starve. I get to put troops in the street. I get to declare a state of emergency. No one can take me out of power. That's what I see him doing. But there's a video about it on the channel. You can check it out. It's about to be worse than the 80s, I would imagine. Crizzy, it's funny. Wow. Because I was really sitting here thinking, the 80s crime, as bad as it's gotten, is nowhere near the 80s at least. This would make it far worse, yes. This would be a disaster unlike the country's ever seen. This would be, if people don't have food, the streets become dangerous. People will be carjacking. People will be, it's just going to get dangerous. You're going to have hungry people. So what do you think happens if everybody's hungry in a third world country? That's not a place you want to visit. You can be on the safe side of the island where they have all the money at, but you don't want to go in the streets. You're going to get robbed because people are hungry. And that's what you're going to happen. 40 million families in America, if 0.05% of the 40 million people decide to do crimes, 0.05%, you're going to have hundreds of thousands of people out there committing crimes. This is a disaster. Dion, I'm sorry. Do you disagree with anything I just said?
We shall see. But again, just like No King's Day, just like when they struck down the education part of affirmative action, there's nothing much to see here. There's not much outrage. And people really know what's going on because
it's not much outrage. Wow. Thank everybody for coming. Sophie, Ethan, Liam, Mia, Crizzy. Thank y'all for joining. Surdy, I'm sorry, did I get you? Thank you, Surdy. Thank you for being here every week. Appreciate having you. Robert, thank you for coming back. You're always great. It's good to have you guys. Thank you for the support. We'll see you again next week, 9 p.m. Stay tuned for the channel. We drop videos every day. There's going to be something for y'all. We debate about particular topics. I drop some particular ways that I see the world, my worldview. Come check us out. This is Leonard Dion signing out.